This is a presentation on my visual scripting game project. So I'm going to explain what my game's about as well as explain the mechanics I've managed to implement. So my game project is a top-down shooter inspired by games like Hotline Miami and Ocho. They're quite fast-paced and they're extremely difficult, but I wanted to replicate it in this game and just do something just in the same vein as those, because
quite possibly shoving cannolis down my gullet.
The objective of the game is to kill all the enemies in the level and proceed to the exit, which will load you to the next stage. So there's currently 3 stages, and of the 4 game options that were presented to us, I chose a twin stick shooter because it seemed simple enough. I found that it was easy to design and block out the levels, and the controls themselves are quite simple too, but they're quite easy to learn and they make the game fun, I think. So now I'm going to go on to the mechanics. So camera angle, the main one. So the player is meant to look at the cursor position, and it shows how the position the gun's going to fire in, which is all very basic stuff. I've added some click functionality to the gun, so it fires when the player holds it down. It's an automatic weapon. Because of how guns work, the bullet just fires very quickly. It's meant to hit the target that you fire in, even if the enemies move around a lot. Something that bothered me about that was sometimes you couldn't really see where the bullets were travelling, and I find that that's important to consider. You need to see where the bullets travel, because it helps you readjust your aim. So I gave the bullets some glow, like a point light, so it makes it easier to see where the bullets are travelling. So the click functionality and stuff like that, they're handled by Unreal. There's a couple different ones for like restarting and pressing tab to bring up the menu, and I've also added a reload button. You just press R and the gun reloads. The gun runs out of ammo if you fire for too long, and there's no like ammo depletion. You can't exactly run out of clips or rounds, but when you have to reload, it makes your character vulnerable because he stops shooting for a second. I think now I should talk about the AI of the enemies. So they're programmed to follow the player, and they enter a detection zone. The zone can be blocked by walls or floors. They actually need to physically see you. So whenever they detect you, they have some pathfinding algorithm based thing. It's handled by Unreal. It's so that they can walk past walls and doorways to make their way toward you. So when the enemies, when they touch you, they do a melee attack and the player dies in one hit. Again, this ties to the difficulty. I've made it so that the enemies die in one shot, but also your player dies in one hit as well. It seems kind of fair, to be honest, and it kind of makes sense. Games like Hotline Miami and Ocho, a lot of the enemies in those games have guns, and they also fire at the player as well, but I didn't know how to implement something like that, and I think that would have made the game a lot more difficult. So for now we've just got basic mechanics, but I think the game that's put together so far, it kind of works, and there's still some challenge to it, because you still need to have some quick reaction times to run away from them, because they kind of run at your speed. When you defeat all the enemies, you reach the next stage, and I've currently implemented 3 different stages, and each stage has like a different sort of play style. The first one's very basic. You walk down some paths and the enemies see you from further away, so you have a lot of chance to react to them. The second stage, there's waist height walls, which they're able to see you and start making their way towards you, but the thing about it is that because they have to make their way towards you from walking past these walls, it gives you the players chance to anticipate their movement. Now moving on to the third level, there's a series of rooms that are connected, and they're quite small, so you have to navigate through these rooms and decide which path you want to take. It's mostly just for like sneaking past enemies and stuff. In the first room there's a window that the enemies can see you through, and when they see you they'll make their way towards you. They'll start making their way toward you, so you have to deal with them. And the objective of this one is to make your way through these rooms and then toward the exit around the back. And something else I've made for this is a pause menu. You press a button to restart or go back to the main menu. There's also a button to quit to desktop. These are all basic things that I think the game benefits from having. The main menu itself has like a spinning camera. There's not much there, but I think it's better than just having like a static camera. That's all I really have to talk about.